Hey everybody, welcome to the Pony Cast. We're back again. It's time for talking about, I did a poll, I said where do we pick up? We haven't done this show consistently in a while. What episode do we pick up? And you all said to just go where we left off. On Season 7, Episode 15, Triple Threat.
Yes, and before we get into anything, I just want to mention, we got a new crew member right there in the background.
Oh boy.
We got a $25 boy, Oily Valves, I think is his name. Look at him up there, right at the top of the mast. I'm gonna get
Oily Valves. What a greasy, oily boy. Greasy and oily in the best way.
Yeah.
He's worth millions. He's covered in the good kind of greasy oil, the kind that's worth millions. And you too can be a member of our cool crew of good boys.
Only the richest ponies get to. You need pirate booty to enlist into our crew.
Yeah, exactly. They all have to bring some kind of talent or use or purpose or riches of their own, because this ship doesn't pay for itself. I mean, we have to pay for repairs every day. It's always crashing into icebergs and stuff because we're not good at being.
We're not good at it.
But we try. So yeah, you can be a guy too on the ship if you give us money. Fuck.
Gibbo.
Forget it. We can cancel the show.
No, that's my alter ego. Don't worry about it. By night I go by Hippo because I like the feeling of being in a swamp.
Gibbo, I like to have lunch while I watch stuff. And so, before I watched this episode, I went out to get lunch. I was driving in a car to go to the Jimmy John's to get my sub to bring home and watch my show. And as I was driving in the car, I heard a song come on the radio. And it was a song that I've heard many times in my life. But this time, I heard something different. This time, I heard something that I will never unhear. And it goes like this. Sing with me, sing for the year. Steven Universe has made me a queer.
Whoa.
And now that's the song forever. Sing with me just for today. My Little Pony is coming to make all of us gay.
I mean, I agree. Cartoons for children are to make us gay. I mean, for fillies, as we are ponies and all that shit.
Anyways, I'm stalling because this episode was not good.
This episode was a Spike episode, which automatically is like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the time the Spike episodes are like, well, some of our audience has grown up, but we want new audience of really young kids. So we'll have like Spike, the idiot, have a stupid problem to be solved.
Yeah.
And this is
he
one
really
of those.
is just a baby, just a dumb baby.
And I mean the point of this episode is that Spike accidentally got two characters, invited them to Ponyville, and he's like, oh no, I'm absolutely certain for some reason that they will not get along, so we have to do the boring thing of like lying about stuff and keeping them away from each other, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a very tropey story. It's the two dates in one restaurant story. I'm surprised that it took My Little Pony 7 seasons to get to this archetype of a story, but I'm not surprised at all that it's Spike who is in this story.
Yep.
Because it is a very prototypical Spike thing to do. And, he wasn't sure that they would get along because it was Thorax and Ember, his dragon friend and his changeling friend. And, I would have assumed they wouldn't get along either because Thorax is a shit and Ember is a turd, and they're both
I like
terrible,
Ember. Ember's a blue dragon, and she doesn't have a terrible character design. Thorax has a weird name that reminds me of a body part. I think it is a body part.
Yeah, Thorax is like a bug's butt.
Yeah, and that would make sense. But like, he's also the worst looking hodgepodge of a character design I've ever seen.
Yeah, like Ember is tolerable, but Thorax, I don't like him. I don't want to see him. I want him to go away. He's the worst guy. I don't know why he's like a regular now. I wish that he had just disappeared. Oh my god. Like, they did the thing where the changelings became good, And
Yeah, I never saw that. What happened there?
it was the season 6 finale, I think.
Oh, so finale.
It was like Trixie and Starlight. Like all the main 6 were like captured or something, so Trixie and Starlight had to go into the changeling room and fix. They did something. It was like a Trixie Starlight episode. It was fun, but at the end the thing was that like they uncorrupted the changelings, and so what we know as the changelings, the gross black bugs, were their corrupted forms because they were devouring love instead of sharing it. And once they learned how to share friendship, then they became uncorrupted, and they turned into something even more hideous than what they had previously been. They look more scary and evil now than they did when they were evil and scary.
Yeah. There's something about them is like garish child toy, sort of. They look like toys that have been designed badly by some Chinese guy.
Yeah, I think they're like supposed to look like fairy forest nymphs or some like
They already
something
made
like
those.
that.
They
Yeah,
already made the little guys, the breezies.
they just look like weird, gross bug deer with stupid faces and shitty assholes, and fuck.
Fuck them.
Fuck him, and fuck Thorax. He's such a wimpy, whiny little dish towel. He's the worst guy. He belongs inside a toilet. And so the whole episode was Spike, lying to both of his friends, and that was it.
Yeah, lying to his friends and getting Twilight and Starlight to just distract them. I think I laughed at one of the jokes of like I'm distracting you with chairs, like Twilight is into chairs, but
I guess
thought it was weird.
I like the joke, the reoccurring thing of Ember not being able to tell Starlight and Twilight apart.
That was fun. I like anything with Ember. Ember was actually, by the end of this episode, I was like, yeah, I don't remember her from when she was introduced. She was just sort of like the girl, and something. But she had a lot of funny lines. Like she couldn't tell Twilight and Starlight apart. She had that bit. And she had that, she ate the walls, thinking that, okay, so this is a thing you do. You decorate the walls of your house with food that people like. And then she stole Derpy's muffin and smushed it on the wall and she did the fucking eyebrow wiggle, like, you like that, huh? And it's just it's so strange, but yeah. Ember's good. She's a feisty little something.
He's a feisty little twat. In the best way. I love her now. You've convinced me to like her. I still think that Thorax is a poopy butt. So I might have come into this episode sort of dreading it and not looking forward to it, because in the last Ponycast that we did, when I mentioned that I had gone on a spirit journey and ate those magic cookies and like went fucking crazy on edibles and started time traveling, I remembered the episode that we talked about last time. But then, as I was looking at the episodes that come next, like, I remembered something that I had repressed. And I remembered that during that experience, after that episode, I kept watching, and they kept playing episodes. And I watched, like, 4 more episodes. So I remembered seeing the episode that, oh my god, I've seen this one before, and I don't remember it being good. So from the beginning, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. So that might have affected my thinking in this time. And like the next 3 episodes I think I've seen.
Yeah, I think for some reason, I think I saw this one as well. Maybe I was just sort of like, back when we stopped, I, had this idea that we would continue it in a few weeks instead of how long it took. So I just watched a few of the other ones, and I didn't like this the first time I saw it, and this time I actually found it to be like, alright, it's just not for me, it's the Spike thing.
Yeah.
But I like the whole thing about Spike in this episode is that the only thing that he does is he is so shit that the fiery hatred for Spike forms forges a bond between these characters that would not otherwise have happened.
That is true. That seems to be the true moral of this episode, is that hate brings people together.
Yeah, hate brings people together, and Spike is the ultimate, an unending well of hatred. Everyone hates Spike, and that's why they like each other.
The only reason that they keep him around is because without him there to hate, he's like Meg Griffin from Family Guy.
Yeah.
They just keep him around to focus their hatred on so they can all be friends with each other the rest of the time. It makes perfect sense. Spike is literally Meg. And there you go. That's the episode. It's a Thorax episode. I think that Thorax sucks and I hate him and I don't ever want to see him again. And it's also an Ember episode, which I was ambivalent towards. And it's a Spike episode, who he's also terrible. So it really was a triple threat. It was a triple threat of poopy buttholes that I don't care about.
Yeah. I do like this this one thing I wrote a note about. The trumpet pony uniforms were fucking cool. They were only on screen for like a second, but like all the ponies when Ember landed, they had the little trumpets and the uniforms. I was like, whoa, that's actually really well. That looks better than anything else in this episode.
You heard it here, folks. 10 out of 10 episode.
10 out of 10
guys with the trumpets.
Pony uniforms, marching band uniforms. Good. I like it. I like that. I like Ember, but it sucked. Sucked so bad.
Oh no, we're watching a pony show for babies all this time.
You know what? I don't even like My Little Pony. It's not good.
I want to go home. I don't want to be on this boat trip anymore. Watching the ponies, I don't like it.
This is all we have to do. While we have our patrons in the back there, like fixing the ship, we're just sitting here looking at this TV, watching ponies because we're so bored we can't be bothered to actually lift a hoof to help.
We're literally getting cabin fever on this excursion, on this expedition.
Yeah.
Well, we did it. Another episode in the bag. Everybody give us money and be a part of our horrible crew.
Yep.
So you can suffer along with us.
Hopefully episodes that are more interesting will be longer than 10, 12 minutes or however long this is.
Yeah.
But you know what? Quantity over quality. It doesn't have to be a fucking long time. Podcasts can be 5 minutes.
This was one of those. There's just not much to say about this episode because it was just a story that's like a sitcom story from every show ever. Like everyone has seen this episode, even if you haven't seen it.
Yep.
There you go. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See ya next time. Idiot.